Hi, today we're going to learn how to use Badgerlink as a database for searching for valid and reliable information. And we are doing this to help gather sources for our modern woodsman speech topic this year, which is inventions that have changed the world. And for the instance of this learning opportunity to stay in sync with the theme of the modern woodman's speech of inventions, I'm going to use telephone as my search for this practice. So on my screen, I'm at Google, and in my search bar, I've typed Badgerlink, and I'm going to hit enter because I want to be taken to that database. And here we are. I'm just going to Badgerlink. Badgerlink is hosted by the Wisconsin Department of Public Instruction, and you can find it under www.dpi.wi.gov as well. What's really nice about Badgerlink is if you are a resident of the state of Wisconsin, this service is free to you. And Badgerlink hosts a variety of resources in all kinds of format. And we're going to investigate some of that today as part of our research for modern woodmans, because one of the teacher requirements is that we have book or print and online sources for our research. So Badgerlink is going to help with that, as I can provide both print and online resources. So I'm going to open Badgerlink. And the home page is a really nice, clean page. It kind of shows you the interconnectedness of the library, and really Badgerlink is a host of all these great reference tools that are all combined in one place. The search we're going to use today is all resources, and I'm choosing this search because I can put some real simple but very important limiters in there that might help me limit getting too much information from my search and having to cull through a lot of data versus doing a little more limited search and having less information to cull through, and hopefully things that are more tightly aligned with my topic of interest. And again, for today, that's going to be telephones. So when I come into Badgerlink and I'm browsing the all resources part, I get to choose my format, my subject, my audience, and content provider, and that can help limit my search so that I'm getting the content that most specifically meets my needs. So under format, because my project requires me to have both print and online sources, I'm going to keep all of the current formats listed, because then that should help me meet the needs of my assignment of having both print and online sources. So I'm going just to simply highlight all formats and keep that the same. Under subjects, since my topic is big picture inventions that change the world, specific topic, the invention of the telephone, it kind of makes me think of two different subjects. One might be history, in that the invention of the telephone had a great historical impact, and I know that through history, Alexander Graham Bell is a specific person in time who played a great role in that. But that isn't my topic. My topic is actually the invention itself, which is telephone. And so in this case, I'm going to start my search using science and technology as a limiter, so I don't have to filter through all that other information. But if this subject doesn't yield great results for me, I can always go back in and reset that to history look under Alexander Graham Bell and maybe come up with a whole new list of information in regards to the invention of the telephone. But for now, speaking of the telephone, I'm going to choose science and technology. And I want to consider my audience. I want the information that I share to be relatable to the audience, whoever's going to be taking in the information. And since this is a middle school assignment, I am going to choose that my audience be middle school students. That way, the data that comes through on my search is limited to stuff that is appropriate for that audience, both on topic and appropriateness developmentally. And then content providers is my last place to look. Really, because of what I'm looking for, I'm going to not limit my providers yet. There are things I could take out, but right now I'm going to leave it in to see what I get for results. So I'm going to push apply, and what that does is when I scroll down my page, it highlights the letter of the alphabet that would represent a title of a resource or a reference material that would likely have applicable content to my topic of the telephone. So I'm going to go through and look and see what some of my choices are. I've got Britannica School, middle age, that is an online encyclopedia. Britannica School images and videos, possibly, but not right away. Climate Wisconsin I don't think is a good fit. I might come back to EBSCO or Explora. And let's see. Science Reference Center might be one that could have the invention part I'm looking for telephone. But to kind of kill two birds with one stone, I'm going to look at the Britannica Middle School because hopefully once I enter my search, it should provide me with some information that meets both of my print and my online needs. And when I open up Britannica, it has different formats for me that I could look at. It also has a really nice, easy to find search bar. And I'm going to start my search simply with the term telephone. And I'm going to hit enter. And what comes up for search are telephone communication device, telecommunication. There's something about Alexander Graham Bell, automation, cable communication. What I see here is some information about telephones, but nothing that really so far, other than Alexander Graham Bell, showing me anything about the history of it. And so what I want to do is I want to make my search a little more specific. And I can do that by adding some terms and, not, or, and it can either broaden my search or limit my search. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the word invention and telephone and see what that yields for results. And now it says the start of trends. The world's progress is largely due to inventions. The effect of inventions. More on Alexander Graham Bell. The telegraph. And some of the other people that may have been involved in the beginning of transmission of sound. And this might be the place to start my search. What I like is, if I go to the article about Alexander Graham Bell, I have a lot of options here. It can give me some other options for searching. It gives me different reading levels for what I will be reading, and I might know if that might be a good fit for a specific student or if they need a higher or lower reading level. I can send this, I can print, I can cite. I need to have a book source or a print source and an online source. What's really nice about Badgerlink is I have yet to find a site within Badgerlink that doesn't have citation support. When I click on this, it shows me all the information I need, and I'm able to choose my citation style based on the request of my teacher. And for this project, it happens to be MLA. If I close this, I also had more options after citation. I could translate if I needed in a different language. I could listen in case I weren't able to see the screen. I have the option of zooming the font if I need, and more options if so needed.